Hey, what's up, Prophetic Weekly? I hope everybody is having a really, really good day. I got a very good broadcast show for you. I was just kind of going over some of these words and I got super excited because there is so much hope coming forth in this hour. There's so many people just prophesying just the goodness of God. I feel it. I feel strong in my spirit about everything that the Lord is doing and wanting to do. So let's just jump straight into this. My first word I want to share, I put it in a really small font. All right. So I got to get my glass on for this small font. It's by Nate Johnson. He said, due season is upon you. He said, we have so often heard overused phrases, this is your time, you were born for such a time as this, and to this point, when it actually is our time, we don't believe the value of that. That's so true. We hear people use catchphrases and different things, and when somebody actually prophesies, you're about to step into your season. Yeah, I've heard that word before. You know how that stuff is. He said, but I feel like God wants to really drive something home for you to understand this. This really is your time. And I'm going to tell you, I feel that so strong right now because I have so much just excitement and anticipation for what is coming. I'm talking personally, I'm talking in ministry and in business. I just have a genuine excitement in my spirit that this is the season. Okay, let's keep going. More than ever before, God is saying this is people's due season. This is your season, okay? Do you really think that all the years behind you would amount to nothing? Do you really think that God would overlook you? This is your due season and the fulfillment of time for the things that you have been waiting on and worshiping towards. I worship while I wait. I remember one time I was praying for some big things, and it was something like this. I kept feeling the Lord say, this is your season, this is your time. I'm about to release strategies and systems, and I was so excited. I've done everything I know what to do, and so I just said, God, for the next week or so, I'm just going to worship. I'm just going to worship. And I remember this time I was working at a place that it was really cool. I had the setup is kind of like I have here. I had an office, I had a sanctuary, and kind of like an extra meeting room. And man, I just go into the sanctuary and I just worship, and I would worship, and I just worship. And while I would worship, the Lord would say, I've told you it's your season. It's, things are coming to pass. You've started. I mean, it's like kind of like Genesis. You're getting moving, you're getting going, things are happening. And I remember that I would just worship for a week or two more than usual, and that season had started. And so don't be frustrated if you don't see things happening like, you think they're going to happen. I remember one time a lady said, the Lord told me I'm going to have a child, and that child is going to be a doctor that's going to help a lot of people. And she wasn't pregnant, and this lady said my husband and we were believing for this child, and just like years went on and never got pregnant. And then she got pregnant, and she says it's funny because you're seeing this 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 5-year-old, 10-year-old, and you're like, okay, this is what the prophetic word is. And then this kid just accelerated in like school. Kid's a doctor now, and the way that this person does their practice is really cool. They really pray, they really believe for, their patients and clients, and even their approach is just really good. They put God in the forefront. I've heard business people, tell me like, man, the Lord told me I was going to be a millionaire, bro. And I was working a job that I barely made over minimum wage. And my parents didn't have finances. I didn't have any rich uncle, and I didn't have any credit to go borrow money. And they said, but years of hard work and diligent, the Lord would say, this is your season to start. And I would start, and I'd be moving. People are millionaires. I had people say, hey, God called me to be in ministry. And, I was in prison, and I had nobody in my family in ministry. I mean, the guy said, I didn't even know if a pastor knew my name, anybody. And just, when God says it's your season, get ready. All right. We spent a little bit of time on that word because it's a good word. All right. Next word is by my dear friend, LaJohn Cole. He said, don't give up on 2022. And I'm just going to let you know, I've heard numerous powerful voices say this. Don't give up on 2022. Okay. God has some surprises in store for you in this year. Now, I know we're getting excited for 2023. New year, new you. I know all that stuff. But I'm telling you, don't forget about 2022. He goes on to say, expect it and believe for your suddenly. He is still the God of the suddenly. Okay? Now, you've heard people say stuff like suddenlies just don't suddenly happen. A lady doesn't suddenly give birth. She's been pregnant for 9 months. You don't just suddenly step into something new. No, you've prepared for it. Nobody suddenly gets a diploma for college. They just don't suddenly get it. No, they've worked 4 years, 8 years, whatever degree plan you're on. So suddenlies are preparation. Don't forsake the 2022 words on your life. Okay? Believe. Next word is by Isaac Petrie. Love Isaac Petrie. A lot of people may not know this about Isaac Petrie, but that dude actually lived a mile from me for a while. And a good friend of mine, and when he would come over to my house and do leadership and stuff, and my wife and I would go speak at his church some, and actually lived a mile from one another. He said this, the provision you need to fulfill your vision is on its way. Wait a minute. Let's back up to Nate Johnson's word. Due season. Things are coming into place. Don't give up, LaJohn Cole. Don't give up on 2022. Isaac Petrie. Your provision that you need for your vision, it's on the way. Not like, you get that little message, your package has been shipped. Not like, 3 months from now. No, it's been shipped. You're about to get it. Okay? I read something today. If you pray for it, prepare for it. Next word is by Agnes Ebony Kairos, another great friend of ours. She says, you are propelled from the prison of problems to the place of promises fulfilled suddenly. This is one of the most powerful prophetic weeklies we've ever had. What you've prayed for in the past is about to suddenly appear, LaJohn Cole. And it is your due season. This is your time, Nate Johnson. And the finances you need is on the way, Isaac Petrie. A lot of times on Prophetic Weekly, you will see a vein of what apostolic, prophetic people have heard from the Lord. I never, ever, ever to the ever have planned to have a show in one vein. It's just how it happens. Okay? Now we got to go over to Coy Barker, who said, the rest of 2022, you shall experience uncommon favor. For the rest of this year, about 3 weeks, you're going to experience uncommon favor. Get ready for it. You're about to step into it. It's going to be powerful. It's your time and your season. Next word is by Doug Addison. The Lord is opening the storehouses. He is calling us to rebuild the financial storehouses on earth as it is in heaven. Okay? Think about this. The Lord has opened up the storehouses of heaven. He is calling us to rebuild the financial storehouses on earth as it is in heaven. This week, I heard two worldly entrepreneurs talk about wealth transfer. Now, wait a minute. For the last year, you have been hearing the prophets say wealth transfer. Now the worldly multimillionaires are saying wealth transfer. Now they say the money's going in the right people's pockets. We know it's kingdom. Position yourself in this season to hear what God is saying. Do what he says. It is your due season. Suddenlies are going to happen. Uncommon favor. Finances are on the way. You're going to be able to do what God has called you to do and build what he's called you to build. Two words today. Agnes and LaJohn Coes both had suddenly in it. Isaac Petrie talked about the provision. Doug Addison talked about the storehouse's finances. Coy Baker was talking about uncommon favor. Nate Johnson was talking about it's your time. If you're looking for encouragement, if you're looking for a word of the Lord, if you're looking for something to propel you forward, you just heard it on Prophetic Weekly. I'm telling you, some people need to hear this word that came out today. Share it with somebody, okay? Share this word that came out today with somebody. You can always find us on YouTube, Facebook, and Rumble, putting this stuff out. Listen, guys, these words can help people move forward. Love you guys. And hey, if you want prayer, go to my website, joejoedawson.net, go to the contact button, hit it, send me a prayer request. I want to help you by praying for you. I believe that when we come together and pray in agreement, we will see things happen for you. Love you guys.